Let's welcome in now Matthew Whitaker, former acting attorney general and senior fellow of American Cornerstone Institute, co-chair at American First Policy Institute. Matthew, great to see you this Friday. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be with you.
I want to get your top line thoughts on the first inquiry hearing. How do you think it went? What were some of the highlights you think that were successful for the GOP making their case to America?
Yeah, I think so much of this for me is about connecting the dots. I mean, obviously there's been little drips of evidence and there's been some returns of the subpoenas, and we've heard this case kind of play out, but I think this is the first time that the American people have really seen the dots connected. And I think in essence, the question that needs to be answered is, did Joe Biden enrich himself and his family from his time as vice president, and were decisions made based on that enrichment? And I think that these next round of subpoenas, really to the key bank accounts and the dots that are going to be connected, is going to answer a lot of these questions. And so this impeachment inquiry is important.
It is, and it seems like not if you ask the Democrats, they don't want to know. They don't want this to even be happening. You could see the desperation yesterday as they tried to call in other folks and really spin. Last night on Rob Schmitt Tonight, Bruce Dubinsky, who's a forensic accountant who was there yesterday to testify, talked specifically about how the Democrats were trying to really undermine the facts. Let's take a listen to this.
Well, I think that was misleading. I think, again, they didn't want to face the facts that were presented today. And I think those facts will lead to potentially other facts. And then the question is, does this lead to wrongdoing on the president's part or the then Vice President Biden? So I think those are the questions that need to be asked and get to the bottom of what was this money being paid for? What was done for it, if anything? And if there was substance to those transactions, then the Biden should come forward with that information and put it forth and put an end to this.
So he's saying the Biden should come forward. Some say we'll never see the bank records, though, of the president. Do you think we could possibly see those, Matt?
Yeah, I think not only does Joe Biden need to be honest and cooperate, quite frankly, if he's got nothing to hide, then he should be willing to provide those documents that the House needs to conduct this investigation. But, the more important thing is you look at the Senator Menendez charges, his wife is the one that got all the benefits, all the cash and all the money. And so I don't see how his wife in the Menendez case is any different than Hunter Biden or his brother James.
Excellent point.
So it's going to be, yeah.
I want to get your reaction to what is happening with this civil trial with former President Donald Trump. It's starting now in Monday. If people haven't heard about it, it was all because of this fraud case. AG Letitia James basically has a judge here, summary judgment. But it's very serious if you look, because the power they had here, they're not going to let him delay it. They're putting some of the property into receivership or having to pull it over. She wants $250 million over assessing real estate when they were disclaimers on all of these documents here. This is pretty incredible and somewhat frightening. I think people are looking at this case with Donald Trump against him and his sons as well.
Yeah, this is such an abuse of the legal power of the Attorney General, and obviously a friendly court and an appeals court are never going to side with President Trump. I mean, I watched this case and it just is such a key demonstration of how once you target individuals with the awesome power of a governmental investigation, it can go off the rails and really, dramatically impact individuals. And so, this is, nobody lost any money. Nobody has, no bank has complained that somehow they were defrauded. But, obviously the Attorney General has campaigned on this, and now she's executing on that campaign promise.
Yeah, and the judge is calling it to move forward. Incredible. Thanks for your reaction, and good to have you in as always, Matthew Whitaker. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you for your time. Yep.